Hey, what's up, guys? First of all, I appreciate all the new subscribers. We just got monetized, so that's pretty cool. Um, Today, I just want to make a quick video on some of the essential things you could need getting into RC. I'm about 6 years into it, 5, 6 years into it, pretty strong. I started with the Traxxas Slash, that's that back there, and then started building this rally. Then I built a track and I got into some more of these little low C mini Bs, and now I'm messing around with some speed run stuff. So been in it a little bit. You can see some of my bodies back there. I even got into planes at one point, but anyway, today I just want to make a quick video of some of the things that I found helpful along the way in this process over the last 5 years, and talk about maybe some things that people are kind of afraid to get into, like soldering and stuff like that. And want to show you the soldering iron that I got into that's been super helpful. But let me go ahead and switch to camera view so I can show you some of this stuff here that you guys should get into. Okay, so this is my workbench here. We're going to start with that. It's good to have a workbench because you're going to need to work on these cars. They break quite a bit, even if they are super strong like the Slash, they tend to take a beating. So we're going to see some stuff here. I'm going to kind of start with the most important, and then we'll work our way down. So the first thing you need is you need to get an organizer. This is the one that I use when I'm working on the truck at home, and I keep all my tools and all my essential parts in here. You're going to see this here. This is an Onyx tool set. I highly recommend one of these. I should have opened this up before I started making this video, but it looks like I can do it with one hand. So I've been through a couple of these because I like using them with a drill. Probably should bring the drill out here because I use this quite a bit. What I do with this drill is I have one with the clutch, and I'll turn the clutch all the way down to 1 so I don't strip out any of the plastic stuff when I'm working on it. And then I use these little bits on here to work on my machine because I can be a lot faster with this. And as long as right when you're getting to the end of the thread, when you're about to hit that tight spot, you just stop and then put it in the wrench. You can hand tighten it from there. But these things last a good while. If you don't use the drill, they last a lot longer, but I usually get about a year out of one of these kits, and you can get them on AMain Hobby for about 25 bucks. It's going to have all your wheel bolts on here and stuff, and some of your miscellaneous tools that you might need to work on steering bits and maybe turnbuckles. I've got aluminum turnbuckles on one of my car, and so I just put this Traxxas piece in here. And here, what you're going to see, oh, that reminds me. This is one of the main things you want to get your hands on, is some Loctite. You want to get some blue Loctite, and you want to put it on everything metal and just a tiny bit, and that's going to keep everything on. It's going to keep you from stripping out your wheel hexes and stuff like that. And you definitely want to get it off of Amazon in a big container like this, because you're paying about $3 an ounce for this, and you're paying about $30 an ounce for this when you buy it this size. So you can get one of these, like I said, 13 to 15 bucks, and it's going to last you a long time, and it's not going to get clogged up as bad at the tip. So that's something you want to get your hands on. What else we got in here? Another thing you want to have is a torch, because sometimes you put too much of that on, and on some of the little bits, like the pieces that go into the axles, and you want to get one of these so you can just go ahead and heat that up real quick, and then once you heat this stuff up, you can get it right off. So that's something pretty cool. What else we got? Some of this stuff is kind of just vehicle specific. That kind of leads me on to the next thing I'm thinking of. I like to have an organizer for each type of car. So this is my Traxxas organizer because I have 3 Traxxas cars here. I got the Rally, got the Slash, and I got the X01. And the funny thing about these cars is pretty much all the parts interchange. So at least 70 to 80% of them. So anything that has to do with Traxxas, I keep in here. But then over here, I've got some smaller scale stuff. Now, I probably should have my own dedicated Mini B one, and I probably should have a dedicated SG1603 one, but I don't, because I can fit a lot of the smaller parts all in this one little tackle box here. And you can see, this is just some of the things I've went through, and, it's It's a little messy, but it's pretty organized. So that's a good idea if you have different types and sizes of cars to differentiate it that way. You'll see this other big box here. So if I'm going to go out to the track or something like that, I'm going to bring this box and this box, because this has a bunch of miscellaneous parts that I've taken off over the last 5 years. And sometimes you just need a weird bearing, or maybe somebody at the track needs an axle, or when your A-arms break, and you just can't really keep that in your quick to go box here. So you just want to get something bigger to put any of the miscellaneous stuff. Don't throw anything away, because in this hobby you'll be surprised what you need over and over and over again. This one's cool because on this side I got another couple tool sets in here, and then I'll keep my battery and my charger for when I go to the track in this side, and just some different bits and pieces. So getting one of these, I think I got this one at Home Depot or Lowe's for like maybe 25 bucks. And then this one this was a bargain from Walmart. Picked this up for less than $15. You'll see some other cars in the back. I kind of become the RC track mechanic over here, because I got people into playing with RC cars and running my track back here, which needs to get worked on and cleaned up. But they break stuff and they don't know how to fix it, so that's what we got going on here. Is this is some stuff I'm repairing for some buddies of mine. So this is probably the most important thing you want to start with. As soon as you order a car, you want to go ahead and get yourself something to divide everything up and know what you got. I do see some things in here that, although they're vehicle specific, they're must-haves. You want to get a bearing bag, bearing kit, bearing bag for whatever car that you're running. You want to get as many bearings as you can, because they're going to blow out in about 6 months and you're going to have to replace it, and you don't want to be waiting a week for a bearing to get in. So go ahead and order these. I use Fast Eddies. Maybe they're not the best, but they work really well. And then this is another little hack here. If you're a Traxxas Slash guy, you can go on eBay and you can go on and type in Traxxas Slash Ultimate, and these guys take the slashes and they strip every single part of it. And what they also strip everything off of is every little bolt that comes on the Traxxas Slash, because if you're like me, when you work on stuff and it's tiny, you're going to lose some stuff. That reminds me of the next thing you're going to want. And you're going to want one of those too. But this, when you're working on stuff, you want to pick up a little magnet tray like this, and you want to stick it to something so that when you drop a nut or a bolt or whatever, it's not going to roll down and get lost in your garage or wherever you're working. See, this is going to stick everything to it. Some of it, that's stainless, so it doesn't stick that well. But, get yourself a magnet tray. Keep all your... Oh, here's something you want to have if you're going bashing or whatever. You always want to have a spare set of batteries in here, because the last thing you want to do is get to a spot and you've been waiting all week to go run, and your transmitter batteries are dead because you left it on the last time you ran it. We'll talk a little bit more about batteries down here, but always keep a set of 4 batteries in here. That's a good thing to keep on hand. We'll move down to batteries here in a second. They're important. This is the, for the other smaller bits and pieces. Get yourself a box to put things like tires and stuff in, because you don't want them just rolling all over the place. Make yourself a little dedicated spot. This next thing here is going to be soldering. So I got a pair of gloves here, because sometimes you touch stuff that's hot because you're trying to get it to bond together. But for soldering, don't even waste your money, your 30 bucks on one of those cheap little soldering guns that don't get hot enough. Go straight to one of these Hakos. I think this is like the one with the 888 in the name. Let me see if it says. Not sure if it has like a part number on it or what. Okay, there it is. FX 888D. This is the best bang for buck soldering iron that you're gonna find. So they're about 110, 120 bucks. You cannot beat this. You can turn the heat up to 899 degrees, and you can do large connectors, small connectors, everything. These are called helping hands. They're going to hold what you're trying to solder together. I definitely recommend getting yourself a set of those. These get used a lot. Wire clippers. What else we got in here? You want to get yourself some flux. That's going to help solder. And then go on Amazon and get yourself a kit of all of this wire shrink, so that when you do your soldering, you can go ahead and put some of that on, heat it up with your little torch. But you definitely want to go ahead and buy yourself a soldering iron. I know that, I didn't think I'd ever get one or get that into RC and everything like that, but you really do need to have a soldering iron being in RC, because you're going to want to switch connectors and you're going to want to switch motors. It's coming. If you just got into this and you're getting going with RC, you're going to want to upgrade something, and you're not going to want to go to the hobby shop. But don't be afraid to go to the hobby shop, because they'll solder connectors for you for like $5 to $8 a lot of times. So don't worry too much about this, but just be kind of in the future pushing towards getting yourself one of these, because this is the kit you want to get. I'm one of those people that will research for a month at a time before I get something. That's why I only have a few RC cars over here after being in this so long. It's because I've researched every one of these cars, and they're the ones that I want to deal with. I know there's a lot better ones out there, and if I ever get into some more serious pro racing, I might get into Techno or X-Ray or something like that, but we'll have to see how that goes. So as far as that goes, sorry, I had to shut my phone off over there. It was ringing at me. Next thing we got is batteries. So we'll talk about batteries here for a second. You'll see I have a bunch of AA batteries. My pops got me this case for Christmas, and I filled it up on that side. Put some other batteries that I'll probably never use in this side, but just wanted it to be full. So you're going to see a ton of AA batteries here. I don't recommend getting a ton of AA batteries. What I recommend doing is getting yourself rechargeable batteries, because you're going to leave your transmitter on, and then what's going to happen is you're going to kill your batteries, and you're going to be spending $5 every time you leave your transmitter on. So I found these on Amazon. They're 2800 mAh. Normal batteries, rechargeable batteries, are usually only about 1300. I'll leave my transmitter on overnight and it will still be green and charged. So these are, I don't know how to say that word, but maybe you can search that. And I think these were like $15 for 4 of them. And then you can get these Duracell chargers. If you buy a Duracell set, it's like $20, but you'll have the lower mAh. You might be able to find just normal battery chargers like this. I'm not sure. But get yourself rechargeable batteries. Don't mess around with that. You're going to spend so much money, because you're going to be all excited when you get in from playing with your cars, and you're going to leave your transmitter on. It's going to happen. And once it happens like 3 times, you already paid for this, and you can easily just throw these back on the charger, and they'll last you a year, probably longer, even if you're messing up like I do. So yeah, get yourself some of those. What's this thing? This is a voltage checker. Don't play around with not getting one of these. You can get these so cheap. You can get 5 of them for $10 on Amazon. And this is something you definitely need if you're getting into the RC world, because you're going to kill your batteries if you don't have one. After every time you run, you want to go ahead and take this. See if I can do it with one hand. I probably can't, but it'll show how easy it is to use if I can. This is a 3S battery. Okay, I did it. So what that's doing is it's beeping at me, and it's going to give me a voltage reading. It's spinning around on the camera, but I can see it clearly here. And what it's doing is it's going to tell me how many volts in the whole battery, which was 11. It's going to tell me each cell, how many volts is in each cell. So this battery is a 3-cell. It's got 11.5 volts, 3.85, 3.85, and cell 3 has 3.87. So everything's pretty balanced out. But what's so important about this is you need to know that if your battery gets under 3 volts a cell and you leave it that way, you're going to do damage to this battery. So after you run, as first thing you want to do when you get back is you want to take this and you want to check all your batteries and see where they're at. If they're not at around 3.5 to 3.8 volts a cell, which is storage voltage, and they're lower, closer to 3, that's when you want to have a good battery charger. So I got my old Traxxas one that I started with here. LiPo bags is a must, so you want to go ahead and get yourself some LiPo bags to charge in. I had a fire actually. I caught, let me see if I could see you. Yeah, see up there? This one, I used to have my battery charger down here, and I left a battery on the charger and I caught it on fire. And then I got these bags because I don't want to burn everything down. Luckily, it was a tiny little battery. But you want to get yourself, these are good. I think I haven't had a fire in it yet, but they're like 12 bucks on Amazon. And I got all my leads to my chargers going in here. And I've even got some little chargers in here that I use for smaller cell stuff, which is good to have. You can just literally plug in the balance lead there and charge a smaller battery like this. You can even charge your big ones. It's just going to do slower, and they're only about 10 bucks. But what you really want to get is one of these suckers, a B6 V2 balance charger. So what you can do with this, you can come in, let me stop it. So you can pick what type of battery you want. I'm going to go with lithium because that's what we're mostly using if you want to go fast. Then you hit start, and then you can pick what mode you want. See, it says LiPo storage, discharge, balance, charge, fast. So if your battery gets down to 3 volts and you want to bring it up a little bit, you just go ahead and click LiPo storage, and then you hold this, and you can do your charge rate and how many volts, and you just hold this down. And it's going to go ahead and start putting it into storage mode, which this one's already, I was doing that from last night, and you can go over and check your volts. So this is about 50 bucks. These things are awesome. I highly recommend getting one of these battery chargers. It will go up to 6S. You can see I get extended balance leads and I put them into the bag. That's a good idea to do. So you want to have LiPo bags for charging. That's, you know, as soon as you buy that car, I waited till just last year to get these. So I went 4.5 years without these, and I had a fire, and I was careful, and I still had a fire. It didn't burn my house down, luckily. We were in the kitchen, and my wife heard this crazy noise, and it sounded like a jet engine, and she's like, "What's that?" And I walk out here, and there's a flame shooting up, and I start yelling, "Water, water, water." So I threw some water on it, and then I unplugged it and threw it outside. And I did $200 worth of damage in batteries because I had all my batteries sitting around. So now you'll see this is up here. So if it does catch, it's going to burn up some of my crappy bodies up there. There's probably a better place to do this, like outside, but I'm not getting that crazy. And, you know, I don't have it below my cars or anything like that. And I'm only trying to put one battery, maybe 2 little ones in here at a time, close it up. And I go ahead and charge it and pray to God that that never happens again, because that was scary. So yeah, get yourself a better charger. This one will work for a while, and I have videos on, you know, how to utilize this to make it as much like this as possible on my YouTube. If you're looking for something like that, go ahead and subscribe and you'll find them. On to the next thing. Well, this isn't necessarily in the right order, so let's go ahead and move on to this. So you're going to get back and your car's going to be a mess. And you're going to sit there with your little toothbrush and you're going to try rags and you're going to shake it upside down. You might even get like me and get so frustrated, hey, they say it's waterproof, let me go ahead and get the hose and squirt it out. And then your car gets all rusty. But what you really need to get your hands on is one of these suckers. You need an air compressor, and then you need to put one of these handles on it. Because what this is going to do, let me show you real quick. Let me find something dirty. You see this dust here? That's going to make your car look like brand new. Get yourself a small one. 3 gallons is the minimum I would suggest. I had a 1.5, and I would be sitting there just trying to fill it up and blow it out and fill it up and blow it out, and it would take me a half an hour. Where with this one, you know, I know everybody's not going to spend $500 on one of these, but I use it for painting too, so it works for me. This one I can clean the whole car in about 2 minutes. But you want to get yourself an air compressor. Go to Harbor Freight, spend $40-50. You'll keep your car clean. You'll be able to see the car better for repairs and stuff like that. So you want to go ahead and get yourself an air compressor and have some Windex on hand, because after you blow it all out, you can hit it with some Windex, hit it with the toothbrush then. You spent maybe 10 minutes and the car looks like brand new again if you're, you know, that kind of person that gets into that stuff. And then while we're talking about maintenance over here, you want to get yourself some white lithium bicycle chain lube. I don't care what kind you get, but you need to have some of this so that you can spray it at your bearings and you can spray it at your movable parts. And this is a wax style so that it's gonna dry and not be wet, and it's gonna dry more like a grease. So that's another thing you want to have if you're getting into the RC realm. This last little thing over here is not necessarily a need. Oh, there we go. We're beeping over here because we just hit storage mode. Let me turn that off so my ADD doesn't kick in too hard. So this is the last thing. I'm not even going to call this a need. I just thought it looked cool and wanted to share it. This is a wheel balancer. If you're doing speed runs, it's good to have one of these because you can get a wheel out of balance when you're going really fast. This is not a wheel that I'm trying to balance. I just stuck it on here because it has ABS plastic on it and it's just going to be wonky. But when I set up my X01 here and I'm trying to do 100 miles an hour and these wheels are known to be out of balance, you go ahead and take one of these off of Amazon for about 15 bucks and you spin it around and you wait for it to stop. This one's not balanced all that bad actually. So you wait for it to stop. So that's going to be the heaviest part of the wheel down here. So you come up to the opposite side and you'll put a little bit of either balancing putty on there, or they have like this tape stuff that has metal on it, almost like a car one, and you put it there and you spin it around until this just stops right in the center like that. So that's going to go ahead and conclude my, and get yourself a Dremel, because you're going to need to cut some stuff and you're going to have to do some repairs, and a Dremel rotary tool is going to go a long way. Phone's ringing over here. Got to get back to my real work. But essentially, just wanted to help you guys out with some of the things that I found to be helpful if you're becoming an RC addict like I did. And it's going to help you out if you just start accumulating this stuff now. Anyway, guys, thanks for hanging out, and I hope you subscribe. I hope you like. Say something in the comments if you think I'm stupid or crazy. That's fine. Or if you know of something helpful that we can add to this list, go ahead and throw it in the comments. Peace out. One more thing I want to add, if you're new to RC cars and you have a lot of questions about it, that's cool. Ask questions. I'm here for that. Hit me up in the comments. I'll do my best to answer the questions. I don't have all the answers, but I know a lot of people that have answers that I can reach out to, so I'll try to get you an answer. That's what I'm here for. That's what my channel is about. I'm trying to help people. I think God put us here to love each other, so that's what I'm trying to do. So go ahead and get connected, subscribe, and let's take this journey together.